Hey, how's it going? We are here with another Pokemon Showdown battle, and this one is going to be another post-narration battle. I did a narration on this before, but I said whatever a little too many times. And yeah. And so this was captured during one of my streams, which I had on Saturday. I streamed Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night. And so I did a bunch of battles with some viewers, and then I did a random battle in the UU tier with the team I just kind of made, which was just based around Beheeyem, which is a key player in this match, and Mega Aerodactyl and other things are just whatever. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the battle. So I'm going to lead off with my Aerodactyl, because it is a Mega Aerodactyl, which all of my Pokemon are named after Eminem songs, so Criminal. He's going to go for the U-turn, and I'm like, what? How does he outspeed my Mega Aerodactyl? But I go for the Rock Slide, he switches into his Blastoise, and that's going to do a lot of damage, because that's a stab move from an adamant Mega Aerodactyl. He Mega Evolves, but I go for the Thunder Fang, and that gets a boost from the Tough Claws, so it's obviously going to kill. He goes into Chansey. I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide just to scout to see how much damage that does. He drops a Toxic on Mega Aerodactyl. I'm like, that's not too bad, but it's not great. So I switch out. I'm going to go into Hellbound here, the Tangrowth. He goes for the Wish, and then, because Tangrowth was so slow, Chansey gets the Toxic off, and then I go for the Knockoff, because I know I'm not going to do a lot of damage with his Eviolite on. So I knock off his Eviolite, he gets his Wish up, and then I switch into Rabbit Run as he throws up another Wish, and I'm just going to go for the Close Combat just to be safe, because I don't want Chansey around. And he switches into a Slowbro, which pretty much walls Hitmonlee, the Rabbit Run here. And his Slowbro gets all his health back from the Wish. So I switch out. I go into Hellbound just to kind of see what he's going to do. And then he Calm Minds. I'm like, oh, that's bad, because if he Ice Beams, Hellbound is going to die. But I outspeed him, and I go for the Power Whip, and that's going to do a ton of damage. And he goes for Psyshock, and I'm like, wait, what? He doesn't have the Ice Beam? Okay, that's good. I'm cool with that, because this is a mixed Tangrowth. So he switches out to Chansey. I go for the Power Whip, but unfortunately I miss. I'm like, shit, that's bad. And all this toxic damage and Life Orb is really adding up. So I switch out to 8 Mile, the Skuntank here, just because. He throws up a Wish. Then he switches out, goes into a Slowbro. I go for the Poison Jab just to get damage, pretty much. And then Slowbro gets all his health back yet again. So then I switch out. I go into Hellbound once more. He goes for the Scald. That's going to do not too much, but with the toxic damage, that's really doing a lot. So he's going to switch out, go into Chansey, and I finally get the Power Whip off, and that does tons of damage. Tons of damage. And now Hellbound is at low health, and I just decide to go straight for another move just to, because I had no further use for Tangrowth. He switches out to Amogus, which is the best play he could have done. And so, yeah, Tangrowth dies. I go into Criminal. They Mega Aerodactyl, and I'm going to fire off an Air Lace to whatever, because nothing is going to like it that much. He switches out to Slowbro. It does a decent amount, but not a great amount. So then I'm going to go for the Thunder Fang, because I'm like, I just want to get damage off, and I don't think I have enough further use for Criminal here. So he goes for the Scald. Doesn't kill me, but the toxic damage does. Ugh. Whew. And now I switch into Rap God, the Beheeyem here. He goes for the Slug Off. Like, what can this thing do? Nope. Dropping T-Bolts with Analytic and Life Orb. Dead. Annihilation. Destruction. Extermination. Nothing's gonna survive. So I don't want to take a U-turn with my Beheeyem Rap God. So I switch out. He goes for the knockoff on my Not Afraid, Suicune. And I'm like, that's whatever, because it's a physically defensive Suicune. So he turns out into Chansey as I go for the Ice Beam, safe Ice Beam. And so now I'm like, oh, I can't do anything, so I have to switch out. So I switch on to Rap God as he goes for the Soft Boil to regain health. Then he Toxic me. I'm like, that's not very great, but I go for the Psyshock, and look how much damage that does to a physically defensive Chansey. So much. Sure, he doesn't have the Eviolite, but damn, that does so much damage. So he switches on to his Tornadus. I'm going to go for the Psyshock again, and one-shot Tornadus. Things are dying. Dead. Dead. So he goes down to his Moongus. I'm like, I don't want any more damage on my Rap God right now. So I switch on to Rabbit Run just to kind of take the hit because he is an Assault Vest. Unfortunately, I get poisoned, which is, like I said, unfortunate. I go for the knockoff just to get off whatever item he has. which is the black sludge, to regain health. So I take another Sludge Bomb, and then I'm going to go for the Earthquake because that was the most damaging move that I could hit Amoonguss with. So he goes for the Sludge Bomb, I died of poison damage. And so this isn't looking too well, but I go into Rap God here. He's going to go for a Giga Drain, and I knew I can survive one attack, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Recover to get some health back. And then, so now I'm at a good amount of health. He goes for the Sludge Bomb. I take it pretty well. And then I go for the Side Shock, and Amoonguss is dead. Dead, dead, dead. So, yeah. So he switches out into his Mienshao, and I just switch out into Skuntank to take the hit. Because Skuntank, 8 Mile here, has Aftermath, which if he dies to a physical hit, the attacking Pokemon will take damage. There it goes, see? Took 25% from Aftermath just because. So I switch out into my physically defensive, Not Afraid, to take the high jump kick pretty well. And then I go for the Skull to get damage off on him. He goes for the high jump again, but he misses and dies. He would have died anyways, but yeah. So now he's switching to Chansey. I'm like, okay, this is game over. Hopefully I can kill with the Skull, and I do. So I'm like, great. I pulled this thing out of the back. Beheeyem, Mr. Rap God, just came through and destroyed everything and won me the game. I'm going to go ahead and show some of the damage calculations just to show how powerful Rap God is. Beheeyem, so good, even though he's basically an NU Pokemon. So let's go ahead and get into that. So here we are with some damage calculations for Beheeyem going against Chansey. And as you can see, Side Shock with Analytic and Life Orb, with Quiet, which is minus speed plus special attack, so I can take full advantage of Analytic, will do 44 to 52% against a physically defensive Chansey with Eviolite. There's not many things at all that can do that much damage with a non-super effective physical hit against Chansey with Eviolite. And so, of course, the other moves won't do as much, but that's big damage for a Chansey. I put Side Shock so it can hit on the physically defensive side, whereas Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball would just destroy, and I have Recover as obviously the fourth move. But let's go ahead and take off that Eviolite and just put that. And as you can see, it goes 66 to almost 80%. 66 to 80 to 78% damage to a Chansey. That's freaking incredible. And let's say I had instead of Life Orb, I had Choice Specs here. That would do up to 90% to a Chansey without the Eviolite. But if you did have the Eviolite here, it would still do up to 60%. Side Shock from Beheeyem doing 60% to a Chansey with Eviolite. That's freaking insane. And of course, I one-shot or a Tornadus. So let's go ahead and see here. Tornadus, Therian. Oh, get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and put the Life Orb again. Look at that. Side Shock does 106 to 125% to Tornadus Therian. With just the Life Orb. That's insane. And Thunderbolt would do 153% to Tornadus Therian. And if we go back to the Choice Specs here, I could have 2-hit killed it with a Shadow Ball. That's crazy. And so yeah, I just wanted to showcase Beheeyem there, the Mr. Rap God. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Let me know what you think about the video, and yeah, man, see you next time. Don't forget to check out my streams.